Salut, bienvenue. Alors là, on va regarder l'alphabet phonétique international, ou autrement dit API. So we're going to look at the International Phonetic Alphabet. And quels sont les 32 sons du français en situation naturelle? So what are the 32 sounds in French in a natural situation? That's interesting, isn't it? 32 sounds. So that's not actually that many, isn't it? Is it? That's sort of like manageable, isn't it? So we've got a table below here, and they're talking about 19 consonants, so 19 consonants, et 13 voyelles, 13 vowels. And some interesting things here. Il n'y a qu'une seule voyelle par syllabe en français. So there's only one vowel per syllable in French. Mais il peut y avoir plusieurs consonnes combinées, but you can have a couple of consonants combined. Okay. Dans la colonne transcription, so in this column, en alphabet phonétique international, chaque trait représente une syllabe pour montrer l'importance de la dernière syllabe prononcée. So what they're doing is every line that there is, she's showing a line there, and then to show the importance of the last syllable being pronounced. We'll see it in action in a minute. L'apostrophe indique que la syllabe qui suit est marquée par l'accent tonique. So if there's an apostrophe, that then says that the syllable that follows will get extra emphasis. So l'accent tonique is extra emphasis. All right, let's have a look at how this works. So we've got 4 columns. So we've got the actual word it said, spoken word. We've got a transcription as described just now. And then we've got the sounds broken out into consonants and vowels. So let's have a listen then.
En mer. En mer.
So en mer. So so the individual sounds in that word are brought together. It's
En mer.
and what they're saying is that the apostrophe here in the line is showing us that mer and the R is getting extra emphasis in there. If you can hear that in here.
En mer.
En mer. So the mer is a mer, isn't it? Let's hear it again.
En mer.
Yeah. Okay, next one.
Par là.
That's really clear, isn't it? Par là. Yeah, that's really that's really clear, that extra emphasis that we're getting on that syllable there. So we can see that here in the transcription. And the consonants are
A.
very useful to notice this sound.
A.
We need to really pronounce that nice and clearly. Let's hear that again.
Par là.
And hear that again, separate.
A.
Très bien. All right, let's keep going. You get the idea.
À Paris.
So we're getting the emphasis there on the ri, ri. À Paris. So this is where the emphasis is.
I.
Can you make this sound? Do you want to try? It's definitely not going to come from the front of your mouth. And then the I sound.
I.
So I. This is phonetic. These are phonetic sounds, by the way. It's not the actual alphabet.
Dans une heure.
So even the U is not given the emphasis. It's une heure, almost neur. See that? It's quite well written there.
N.
So try copying the individual sounds.
N.
And now let's hear the phrase.
Dans une heure.
See if you can copy that.
Dans une heure.
So yeah. Okay, so we can see in this next one that we've got en cours, but the cours is getting the extra emphasis. There it is there. So let's hear the individual sounds that make that up.
O.
So if you can copy those sounds.
O.
And then let's hear that.
Encore.
O.
Encore.
Encore. Okay, now notice that the consonant for the 2 ans is a Z. Because we've got the liaison happening there between them. So we've got the Z sound.
Z,
Z, Z. So Z, a Z, a Z.
en, Z, en,
So now let's hear the whole thing.
Dans 2 ans.
Just try it again.
Dans 2 ans.
Yeah, and you're getting that nice
Z,
sound there. Okay. Got the OU sound here. Let's hear what the OU sound sounds like.
ou,
Again.
ou,
And then we got the T.
t,
C'est tout.
We'll copy that.
C'est tout.
So yeah. Okay.
c'est bon,
She's really drawn that syllable out, hasn't she? C'est bon.
c'est bon,
Okay, so what have we got there?
B,
So
B,
okay, and then all together.
c'est bon.
Okay, another phrase.
Tu l'as vu? Tu l'as vu?
Let's get the U bit.
U,
U.
U,
Put it with a V.
V, V,
Quite harsh, that consonant sound, isn't it? It's quite clipped. See that again.
V. Tu l'as vu?
I think we have a tendency to soften them as English speakers, partly
l'as
because
vu?
partly because I think we think that consonants aren't sounded in French because of the last consonant often not being sound, and maybe consonants are softer in English, but not in French.
Tu l'as vu?
Vu, vu. There's quite a lot of power behind that. Let's hear it again with this one.
Tu viens?
That's the last bit there.
A, A,
Tu viens?
Tu viens? Tu viens? Do you want to say this one? How would you say that? Okay.
c'est ça. S, S, c'est ça.
C'est ça. Quite clipped as well.
Nous deux.
Now, the difference between this one, which was Zeddy, because we've got the liaison happening. So this one was
Dans 2 ans.
where we had the,
Z,
whereas this one, we've got no word after it. So words behave differently when they're parts of phrases or chunks.
nous deux. Un, D. Nous deux.
Pourquoi pas?
That's very clear, isn't it? That's very tonic. That's very emphasized.
Pourquoi pas?
Notice how strong that is.
Sans danger. Sans danger.
Je.
Je,
Je. That's up there as well, isn't it? It's kind of the Z sound, yeah?
et, je, et, sans danger.
Okay.
C'est faux. C'est faux. Oh,
Oh. That's that AU sound, isn't it? Yeah, there.
oh,
Strong consonant again.
c'est faux. À toi. À toi.
There's a W sound, isn't it? Now, toi. Okay.
Il fait chaud.
Ch, ch,
Il fait chaud. C'est à lui. C'est à lui.
c'est égal. G. C'est égal.
So I think the consonant sounds the vowel sounds we've concentrated on quite a lot in our pronunciation sessions, but the consonants, they're said quite powerfully, and they're very, very deliberately said, and they're quite clipped, aren't they? Let's just hear those again, those consonants.
N, E,
R.
N,
Z. T.
B,
V. S. D. J. F. Ch. G.
And let's compare them then with the vowels.
E, A, I, E, O, En, OU, ON. U,
A. E.
E, O.
So does that make you feel like it's a little bit of a bit more manageable, perhaps, to get your pronunciation more accurate? Because if you think about it, that's not such a long list, is it? And we've got 32 sounds, 19 consonants, and 13 vowel sounds. So that's manageable, isn't it, to learn those? Sometimes it feels a bit nebulous, doesn't it? But when you've got it there, sort of like laid out for you in those simple terms, it makes it feel a bit more manageable. A couple of things to note in here. Il existe par contre un accent tonique qui est placé sur la dernière syllabe prononcée du groupe de mots qui forment une idée. So there's a tonic accent, and this is sort of like an extra emphasis on the last syllable pronounced in a group of words which form an idea. So we've talked about this before, there's sort of like chunks of ideas, and this is really useful in terms of you communicating that I've come to the end of an idea, but also it's useful when you're listening to notice that accentuated or that tonic syllable, because that tells you that it's come to an end. And usually what happens is if it's at the end of a chunk, it usually will go down. The emphasis is sort of like it will go down, unless it's a question or an exclamation. C'est pourquoi le mot prononcé de référence ne peut pas être présenté seul, mais dans un groupe de mots. So that's why they put these reference sounds, not just sort of like individually, but as in groups of words. Because words don't, on the page, they're all individual, aren't they? But when you're speaking them, when you're listening to them, they merge, they react, they respond to each other. So that's something for us to bear in mind with the pronunciation, which will help with listening as well. So quite nice and manageable, really. Something else to work on too. Ok, bah merci beaucoup et puis bah à la prochaine. Au revoir, merci à vous.